guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Alright, so today we'll get our first sort of, I guess, clean no-item run here against the Metal Cooler Core. Yesterday when I was doing my first attempts at it, the first couple of tries went kind of iffy. And then, you know, I brought the Final Form Cooler team in here and we just destroyed it. This Metal Cooler Core stage is insanely difficult. I'm seeing, looking around, people are saying it's very easy. People are just getting lulled to sleep because Final Form Cooler is a direct, like, beyond hard counter to this fight, right? He obliterates it. But that doesn't change the fact how devastating this Metal Cooler Core is. This is actually, I think this is, in terms of red zone fights, I think this is the second hardest red zone fight. I have used a couple of other teams now. Besides this no-item run, I tried it with the Goku and Vegeta team. I had some runs with the Vegeta and Trunks team, right? This fight is very tough. So, at the start here against the Metal Cooler Army, right, they can double super, which is actually very problematic, right? Because, you know, you would think of, like, Red Zone Broly at the end double supering, which, of course, is a pain. But at the very least, you're able to build up to that moment, right? It's like, yeah, like Red Zone Broly's double supering, but, you know, your Tech Gohans and your LR Super Saiyan 4, you know, Gogeta, your LR Gods, like, these characters are, like, stacked up to that point. Whereas here, the opening rounds being double supered can be problematic. The Metal Cooler Army right here, they also do debuff you with their super attacks, which can carry over into the next phase. Definitely something that we do have to worry about as well. But one of the things that makes this like very, very doable is we can attack debuff the Metal Cooler Army, which again, it just leads towards Final Form Cooler's team being outstanding here. LR Golden Frieza lowers attack, Final Form Cooler right here on his 12 key super lowers attack, EZA STR Cooler lowers attack, LR Metal Cooler lowers attack, right? So it's like all these top tier options on Cooler's team here, a lot of these guys are lowering attack, right? Which just means that we have many options capable of sort of holding this guy down while we do need to build up, right? And then, you know, in the next phase, I guess we'll wait to talk about the Metal Cooler Core until we get there, but it can be very, see, like, look at that, it's just easy double digits. I mean, besides the fact that we have, whatchamacallit, right? Like, we've debuffed him to hell many times. Then, of course, I mean, Final Form Cooler, we know how crazy he is next to EZA Cooler right here. These two together are a really, really potent 1-2 combo. Depending upon how things go, too. Like, being able to rock them on rotation or as a rotation together can be crazy. Now, the other thing that's annoying about this, right? So, maybe this is a good thing we got this rotation or a bad thing, I don't know. But this Metal Cooler Army doesn't have really HP, right? It's just 3 turns have to pass. You have to survive 3 turns against them, which is clearly why they let you be able to attack, debuff them. But do you really think this rotation right here would, like, struggle to kill a boss, right? So that's another thing you have to account for, is that you cannot blitz this Metal Cooler Army stage, which again can double super you as it did right here. So both of the Final Form Coolers, you know, we're not taking damage, but they do have that defensive debuff applied to them, right? So, you know, that is something to be concerned about. Those defensive debuffs by some of these big bosses, it really can be a very annoying thing to have to deal with, right? When you're going to lose a lot of defense, especially against a boss on the level of the Metal Cooler Core, which we're about to fight, right? One thing, so right now, too, I think that Final Form Cooler's team is definitely the most fun team in the game. I prefer running Final Form Cooler's variant over LR Metal Cooler's variant, because that allows us to get the Janemba characters on here, right? And I guess we could, you know, depending upon the event, maybe if we're going against Cell Max, we could bring, like, Britter and Jace. You know, we could bring, like, Raccoon and Goldo and Captain Ginyu and stuff like that, which are all on Final Form Cooler's team. But the 2 Janembas, of course, work exceptionally well alongside just these huge hitters. You know, LR Golden Frieza, and the 3 Coolers, and then Metal Cooler, right? Like, are just, like, monster hitters. You just want to sort of, like, fill them with defense and support, right? So, okay. So now we get to the Metal Cooler Core. Ah, okay. So his seal is not guaranteed then. Okay. I don't think I noticed this when I was doing this run this first time. So this guy will seal 1 unit. It seems to be a very high chance. I don't know if I've seen another turn where I haven't been sealed besides this. Now, we got a pretty... we didn't have a great rotation right here, and I was pretty nervous because it's like... I guess if I had put LR Metal Cooler in slot 1, he actually probably would have died, but the only thing with sometimes Metal Cooler just dying in slot 1 is we then would make no headway on the fight, right? It's just LR Metal Cooler would have instantly died, whatever. I felt like it might have been better to put the EZA Cooler in slot 1, and considering LR Metal Cooler has not really built up, I figured we could put him in slot 1 and then he'll revive at the end. Because what happens, this LR Metal Cooler Core, this guy, his super attack hits harder than Omega Shenron. It hits harder than Omegas, right? And then I believe he raises his attack after his super attack, though. So he will super, and then his damage actually goes up for this Metal Cooler Core. So it's like if we get, you know, him super attacking slot 1, turn 1, that does lead to problems. Now, here's what's really funny. We do actually survive right there. So now we're in a pretty tricky predicament. Metal Cooler didn't die. So it's like, okay, we're, you know, at a good 60k HP. The good news, though, is that we do have a very strong defensive rotation right here. LR Golden Frieza, one of the best units in the game for many reasons. Final Form Cooler, of course, has got type advantage over this Metal Cooler Core. And then, of course, we also have got LR Janemba. And we were able to build up LR Janemba, so he's going to be looking a little bit better here. But at the end right here, this gets a little bit scary. This gets a little close, as you guys can see. It's like, yeah, Metal Cooler was supposed to die in that first turn. But it's like we are going to be good to go. I think that Metal Cooler Core, he might not even super attack on this turn is what happens. But yeah, this was a very weird run because it's like, you know, we got both of the Final Form Coolers in turn 2. So, like, one of them didn't really get a decent chance to build up, basically at all, which definitely held us back a little bit. But you could just see the huge amounts of HP flying off of this Metal Cooler Core when being attacked relentlessly by Final Form Cooler. But again, this fight gets much tougher once you're not using Final Form Cooler. This guy is really hard, this Metal Cooler Core. The sealing ability is definitely something that is a huge nuisance to have to deal with. So here we finally get Cooler's Supernova right here. We'll go ahead and cancel the first action that the Metal Cooler Core does. And basically, as long as his Metal Cooler's second attack is not his super attack, then we've won, right? Keep in mind, we don't have AGL Golden Frieza's, whatchamacallit. We don't have AGL Golden Frieza's damage reduction up right here, so we do have to finish the Metal Cooler Core between the two coolers, but it's not going to be a concern. I put Base Cooler in slot 2 to get all these SCR orbs for the healing. Actually, I think even if the Metal Cooler Core supered right here, so that's from the Supernova, if this was a super attack, I think we live, actually. We would not have died, I don't think, because we healed. That's, you know, defensive stacking, dude, right? Like, you're able to build up so much defense that you're able to get a nice, clear amount of orbs, and then you just heal up like crazy. So there we go, boom. Metal Cooler Core. Pretty easy run with this Final Form Cooler team, right? Not really too bad. I'm going to go through, and this looks like this is indeed the final stage of the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone right here, right? This is the final stage of it. I'm going to go through and no-item all of these stages with all the different 200% teams, the way I did with the GT and movie Red Zones as well, right? We'll go through and we'll sweep it with all the teams. I'm not really sure which teams are going to be super difficult to take that Metal Cooler Core down, but again, after doing it a couple of times, I'm pretty content with calling that the second hardest Red Zone fight. That Metal Cooler core, he is a problem. He's going to do a lot of damage. He's a scary boss for sure. So let me know what you guys think of a no item run here. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.